Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when it happens, when we allow freedom ring, when men, white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Well, let me mute that. Well, that was good. That was a long but worthy intro to our topic on today. How was your day today?
It was good.
Good.
Might have been long, but it's necessary.
Yes.
It's necessary. You must be reminded of the words.
Yes, we had.
Reminded of the prophetic utterance.
Yes, we had to travel up to visit our son this weekend, and it was it's always refreshing to see him, even though it's been a week since we last saw him.
They have needs that arise.
Yes, so had to fix a laptop that he broke, but that's what dads
why you
do.
gotta put my son out there like that?
Because
Why you got to put my son?
Well,
out like that?
okay. Praise the
Free
Lord.
at last. Free
at
you don't
last.
want him saying that to you.
He just might have to say free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, he's free at last. Well, today we celebrate MLK Day, and we want to make sure that all our viewers, I'm pretty sure they saw Martin Luther King Day parades throughout every city.
The Reverend Doctor.
The Reverend. That's why I'm wearing my collar in honor of the great Reverend.
All right.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
See, had I known of this attire that he was going to wear, I would have been more Coretta-ish.
Yes.
I'm just saying I could have put on.
I want you to be
some pearls
Carlette-ish.
Maybe did all that to match you, but I'm representing my school.
Yes,
that's all
yes.
I'm doing.
Well,
but that's part of the dream. Black educated people. Hallelujah.
Yes. Thank you.
Look at that yawn. Okay.
Oh Lord Jesus. Let's hurry up and get our guest on the show, because this Negro over here, boy, with that yarn, he could have ate a tire or something. Yes.
But
go ahead.
Before we bring them in, we have to say Happy Founders Day to the lovely ladies, the women of distinction, and I forgot what else they say. But the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated, to my lovely niece Tamika Chahota, to my lovely cousin Keisha, who we all know. She comes on the show and she provides great insight in the world of counseling and life coaching, and she's certified in everything. Okay, I think she's working on her PhD. But also, we had the lovely ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Their Founders Day was yesterday, the 15th, J15. And then before them, you had on the 13th the lovely ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. So, and then earlier in the week, I believe it was the 9th, you had the distinguished men of Phi Beta Sigma, their Founders Day. So, like we do it in the church, all January babies, please stand up. Okay? All January babies, please stand up to be represented. So that would be the alphas. And that, is it the alphas? Don't the alphas celebrate this month?
I don't know.
No, Kappas.
The Kappas.
Oh, it's the
J5, baby.
J5. Okay.
Yes, get it right.
Kappas.
All right.
Okay.
We got people on. We got the Bishop Norman J. Hairston watching.
Yes.
All the way from the GI, Gary, Indiana. Oh, look. Yeah, let's hurry up and get our guest on the phone.
So, listen, are you opening lines today?
No, we will not be opening lines because it's too freaking difficult
to
open the lines. And
but
then,
please put your
Tracy
comment.
McKelvin.
Oh, yes, from the lovely Huntsville, Alabama Beacon Light Ministry.
Yes. Tracy, what's happening?
Yes.
We are excited today. We have none other than our friend.
And we got a shout out to Jeanette. She's on. Thank you,
Jeanette is
you
on.
So
what's happening?
You're faithful to the cause.
Yes. But we have none other than our friend, our brother, our...
You know, the type of brother that don't quit you when you make sudden changes in your life. But we ain't going there.
Sometimes he can be my enemy, my foe, occasionally.
Enemy, frenemy?
Frenemy, yes.
But see, that's a brother.
Yeah,
That's
we
a brother.
fuss and fight. Who else? Who just glad to see? Yes, she said she's glad to see us. So yes, we have none other than my friend, the Honorable Elder, Elder in all rights. Make sure your mic is on.
He's a licensed elder in the Church
yes.
of God in Christ. Yes, he is.
Yes.
Hey!
Our producer.
Oh, yes, God.
He is the one that is essential for getting us started on Chris and Carlette
Yes.
Live.
Yes, we give him that.
And he is he holds so many accolades. I mean,
He's
it's
the
just
bomb. I believe
he's a media director of Life
Yeah.
Church of Atlanta.
you
He's
don't
a
put his business out there like that.
mogul of all
You don't
different.
announce clients.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, I worked with him, so that's I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
but
moving
look,
on, a man of many hats.
Yes.
The statement says that jack of all trades, master of none, but you have to learn the rest of the phrase.
yes,
But it says something to the fact it's rather be master of all than master of none.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what, you know what I mean? I'm sensing multiple streams of income.
Right.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Calling it forth. It's there.
Yes.
Hey, Terrell.
VTH.
Hey, T. Unmute yourself.
What's up with this title on this full screen graphic now?
Hold on. Let me.
We gotta
bump
turn you up.
Got to turn you up. What'd you say now?
I said, what's up with this title on this full screen graphic?
Well, that is your correct title, right?
I mean, if you want to
Become.
put a title, it needs to be Apostle V. Terrell Hill.
Oh.
Get it right or get lost.
Oh,
Hey,
Lord.
Cordell. Listen. Okay, we're going to give him all he is. The apostle.
The apostle.
Hey, won't he do it?
He ain't started no church.
That's,
No,
you
I'm
know
just
what?
playing.
Don't get him started on that. Don't you
No,
get
no,
him
wait.
started.
I'm sorry. He did. He did.
Hey,
He did.
thank you, Carlette, because
Do
I'm
not.
about to let it rip.
We won't even be talking about a dream.
Yes.
He will shut it down.
I mean, because the reality is, if the litmus test of being an apostle is starting a church, that's why there's so many less than quality apostles in the church right now.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about
Here
MLK.
we go.
You started it, not me.
Hey, I'm just warning our
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm done. Go ahead.
I'm just warning our audience that this can go left at any time dealing with VTH.
But it'll be left with a purpose. It'll be left with a purpose.
Right. I mean, if you want, hey, I'm trying to steer this boat down the straight and narrow, but sometimes he goes left and I'm just like, we just end up, in left field for the rest of the show. But thank you.
Let me say,
Go ahead.
May I say before we get started?
Yes, sir.
First of all, it is a privilege to when someone invites you on their platform. It's an absolute privilege. Kudos to you guys. It takes nothing but tenacity and passion to do something like this continually through life's interruptions for 3 seasons. I had gave y'all the task of just doing it for what, 3 months?
6 months.
6 months.
Over
or
6
something.
months,
Yeah.
and y'all are working on year 3, isn't it? Is it about year 3?
Yeah,
now?
yeah. All kudos to you.
Well, no, well, kudos to me for jump starting, but then you have to maintenance the vehicle after the jump start.
Yes.
Oh.
One jump start don't last forever. And
That's
so
true.
you have your jump starters out there, and a lot of people don't realize is that you have to be cognizant to the season you're in, because a lot of people miss their jump start season and really and wondering why they haven't been able to obtain what they want to obtain. You have to be discerning of the season you're in and the people around you, because some people come in your life just to cha-cha-cha you, and then you go. But if you miss that, you don't take advantage of that, then you don't look back 3 seasons later and see how you've been consistent. So yes, I was the cable, but there had to be some oil changes,
Come on.
some tire changes, some tire rotating, some
Listen.
vacuuming out the car
Mhm.
by y'all to be 3 seasons in. So
Yes, sir.
absolutely kudos to y'all.
Thank you. And you and to you as well. I mean, you started your own podcast. It's been about 3-4 months ago?
About 3 months ago, I started. Absolutely.
And he comes on daily, guys.
Yeah, daily. Like
We're once a week. He's daily.
Yeah, I don't see how he does that.
And he's fresh.
But go ahead and tell us about your show right quick before we get started.
Okay, sure. So, if you see my name at the bottom of the screen, it's V. Terrell Hill. I have the V. Terrell Hill Show. I come live every single day. We talk about pop culture things. We talk about things that are popping the culture literally. And then every once in a while, I'll throw a curveball. Like today, I talked about mental health and going to therapy. I also have a private email community that I send out nothing but inspirational and spiritually conscious things. I
get it.
Carlette, did you get your email Friday?
Yes, I did. I got it.
Absolutely. And all of that information, if you search me, any platform you can think of, just put in V. Terrell Hill, just like it's spelled Terrell with an I, and you can find me and all of my information.
Yeah. And you also do consulting, so go ahead and put that plug in.
Oh, absolutely. I consult on many different levels. I want to say this, that sometimes people will sign up for a consultation because they want to start a YouTube platform. But by the time we finish with the consultation, we have narrowed down the reason why you didn't start 5 years ago. And so I've been graced with an anointing to help people help themselves. And so I give one free consultation, and the way to get a hold of me, that V. Terrell Hill at the bottom, it's info, then do VTERRILLHILL.com and put in the subject line, free consultation. And if you do that, I'll send you a link. You'll set an appointment. And I promise you this, hand to God, within that 30-minute window, your life will shift from A to D, because we skip in B and C because you're better than that.
All right.
All right.
What?
All right. Well, there you have it. That's Mr. V. Terrell Hill and his lovely parents. We want to give a shout out to them.
Yes. I thought you almost said his lovely one.
What Carlette say?
Nothing.
Okay. To the lovely, the amazing couple, Pastor Superintendent Perry Hill and his wonderful
and
evangelist lady, Angeline Hill. We love them dearly. They took us in since the day they met us, and we've been on. We like kids number 4 and 5. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 and 5. Yeah, correct.
4 and 5. We are 4 and 5.
Yeah, y'all family. Y'all a family.
Yes.
All right, so let's get to this.
Well, let's. I want to make sure we. Tracy said the mental health topic is real heavy right now. That's why I've become a member of the National Association of Mentally Ill as an advocate. How beautiful that is.
Thank you.
So
That's
great.
ministry.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Let me see if I can.
I'm glad that you're
I'll say this,
concerned.
and not to get off topic. And I was just thinking about this today when I was thinking about the Martin Luther King topic, that a lot of people would rather hide behind the facade of forgiveness than face their foe. And because when you face your foe, your true foe is you, your inner enemy. And I had a therapy session today, Chris and Carlette, and I tell y'all, man, what came out of me and the kind of pain that I connected with and started crying deeply. I told my therapist, I see why people would rather choose their abuser than to be free. Because freedom feels worse than abuse. It costs to be free.
It costs to be free.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see
you
that.
can't. And I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me just stop because we'll just go on and on.
Yeah.
and on.
Yeah. That's another subject. That's another subject. But so we wanted to bring you on, and I felt like we needed to talk about this, and none other than I could have gone out and got some civil rights activists, and we could have went all the way to get one of my friends who's like pro-black, staunch, all African People Revolutionary Party and all that, Stokely Carmichael and. Who I hung out with when I was in college.
I was waiting for him to say that.
Name drop.
But no, I mean, we could have went, overseas and got some people, but we decided to, choose you because I knew that I didn't want just the average conversation about Martin Luther King's dream. And I didn't want the average, okay, this is what we need to do. This is where we are. No, I needed some controversy because I feel like his dream has never came to pass. And so I brought you on.
That's
um,
deep.
Never came to pass.
Oh,
Why you bring me on? You should have just had your own. That's controversial enough.
how can you say that?
So go ahead, Terrell, open this up and tell us your thoughts.
Oh, so I open up.
Yes.
When I think of Martin Luther King, I cannot help but, let me say this. You do not, now forgive the sirens, y'all, because I stay in Midtown. You cannot poop where you live, right? So before I say anything that looks anti or anything like that, the reality is that without Martin Luther King and his contribution to American history, this country would not be as great as it is. And the reality is, you have message and you have motive, right? And I will not, and I do not question Martin Luther King's motive.
Right.
And I think it's the motive that moved us in the right direction. But I am not a fan of Martin Luther King's message.
Whoa, did you know this?
Well, that's why I brought him on the show.
Ask, are we on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, because all I see is y'all's like green screen.
I know. I switched it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, got
yeah.
it.
So you
All
can
right,
always see us if I need to change.
Okay, gotcha. So that I'm going to focus on here.
Right.
Yeah, so I am not in full alignment with his message. What happened in short, and then we can get more in detail, for me is Martin Luther King fought for desegregation. But desegregation does not automatically mean equality.
Exactly.
So to this very day, we are legally allowed to go in the restaurant and still get mistreated.
Yeah.
That's it. Our kids go to schools with teachers that are still bigoted. Our brothers and sisters still go into corporate offices where they are still victims of microaggression. Like, you ever think you're gonna ever cut your hair? So we are now secretly under siege because we're desegregated, but we are not quite equal yet.
And I'm glad you said it.
There's still discussion in Congress about the Crown Act. We're talking about hair.
Yeah.
It's still a big deal for some of these ladies in media that these news anchors, and they do this kind of reveal where one day they wear their natural hair and everybody in 2022, 23 is like, wow, you're so courageous. Why? Because there's so white culture and, white standard. This idea that to be successful, you must come up to white standard was included in the desegregation deal, where Black women are afraid to be in professional spaces without their freshly permed hair.
Yeah.
Or pressed.
Or freshly pressed hair, right.
I think over I don't even know, ever since cops killing Black people, whether male or female, and that may have been, and when it started to arise, where it started to be put in mainstream media, and then all of a sudden we had the Black Lives Matter movement. I think, okay, I'm about to say just what I think that's all a farce.
What part?
The Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh, what do you mean?
Just people raising all this money to help, and this is part of the conspiracy theory, but people raising all this money to support the Black Lives Matter movement. But what has the Black Lives Matter movement done for Blacks?
Okay, so, oh boy. I'll say this.
Here we go left.
I snatched myself. Whoa, because you got no idea what I was about to say.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
You have to know me, because I would want to say, what has the Church of God in Christ done for blacks? So anyway, what has the Baptist Church done for blacks? So what has the Democrats done for blacks? What has the Republicans done for blacks? I think that it's real cute, but there are institutions that's been out for years that ain't done nothing for black people. You got churches lined up down the row. I mean, come on, let's be real. We got churches lined up down the row in the same communities as poverty. How is the portal to God full of poverty?
Oh my God.
So if we're going to call a spade, we got to call a real spade. Institutions in itself are outdated and non-effective in today's times. Unless you get some fresh revelation and fresh touch on how to touch today's world. And so it's really funny how we put emphasis on Black Lives Matter when the NAACP leadership is old as dust and irrelevant and hasn't done anything for us in years. Let's call the NAACP out. So I think that it can be a contribution to narrative. Now, on the other hand, we don't know. Because if they were really stealing that much money, you would like to think they would be in jail, subpoena, court case, or is it just passed along narrative? Third thought about BLM is I don't know nothing about the institution. So you got message and motive, right? I don't know. I just realized that one of the co-founders' name was Patrice Cullors, I believe, when her cousin was killed recently up under the authority of the LAPD from cardiac arrest. Before then, all I knew, I believe it was 2 or 3 lesbians got together and created it. I never connected with the institution, but I'm very intimately aligned with the message. And so I think one of the ways that white narrative has been used to tear down the potency of the message is to take the attention off the message and put it on, at one time, messengers that are irrelevant. Because think about it. Who knows the Black Lives Matters leaders? Like, can we name one name? Like I said, I only know Patrice Cullors because her cousin just died. So I think there's a differentiate between the people that started it and the message. It's the equivalent of saying, like, will you throw out the whole teachings of Jesus just because a founder was ineffective? So same difference.
So do you think that the message of Black Lives Matter is the same message of MLK?
Wow. It's the same. The message, well, MLK's message was around, in my opinion, again, desegregation.
Right.
I have a dream that white little boys and black little boys can come together. MLK addressed a vein that was in that space. Now we're in another space and time, and there's a message to address that. And BLM sort of attached itself to specifically police brutality. So where MLK was about desegregating and allowing Black kids to go to proper schools and not bars, what do you call them, little diners and stuff like that. I think BLM's message is more about the devaluing of the Black life, which could be the second part of MLK's message. Because and there's a part of his speech that got my attention. He says, I have a dream that one day every valley should be exalted. Every hill and mountain should be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will be made straight. That, in my opinion, is the part of the dream that hasn't manifested yet. Because though we are not segregated, the first has not become last and the last has not become first yet. And I think that is where maybe Black Lives Matter message could apply, I guess.
Yeah, I see that. I think that the Black Lives Matter movement is an extension of MLK. I think that if it was not for him, there would be no Black Lives Matter as far as the fight. You know.
Thank you. As far as the fight, just because things don't always seem to be accomplished, I look at it as things been accomplished to bring people, bring it to their face. To bring it, it's like when you're quiet, then you let them do whatever they want to do. But if you constantly put the dream in front of them, put the speech in front of them, put Black Lives Matter, okay. When Black Lives Matter started, we were living in California. And I remember one of my coworkers made a statement. She was not African American, and she made a statement. What's all this Black Lives Matter and this and that? I let her, and because all lives matter. And I looked at her very nicely in my nice Christianly way, and I said, "Okay, so listen, all lives do matter. They do. They really do." I said, "But you know what? The Black Lives is on the to-do list right now, though." And that shut her up.
Right.
We're on the to-do list.
Right.
And I just turned right around and went back to typing and dealing with patience. So
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I say something else controversial?
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead.
As I sit and think about it, I take it back. Martin Luther King's message is different from Black Lives Matter message. If you want to align a civil rights leader of past with the BLM movement, it would probably be Malcolm X.
That's true.
Because the issue with what a lot of people had with Martin Luther King was he aligned himself with Christian principles and peace. Black Lives Matter movement is all about choosing violence and war. They in your face, burn the city down. You don't get your attention one way or the other.
That's true.
And that was the kind of animosity, probably not the best word, between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Because Martin was he used Christian principles and values to move the needle forward. And Malcolm was like, kill them crackers. So that was
watch it now.
Oh, my bad. I forgot my room. Because there is a cracker in the room. So anyway,
watch it now.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Anyway.
Wait, and after my recent DNA, watch it now. Oh, we got a lot to talk about.
Maybe the Lord brought the Edwards in my life for healing of racial conciliation healing in my heart.
Everybody go find out who you are on Ancestry.com. Trust me.
Well, I'm 13% Caucasian. I'm European.
Well, praise the Lord.
Whatever.
But go ahead. Finish what you was about to say.
But yeah, I think that was the difference between a Malcolm and a Martin. Now, let me say this. There are some hands that are meant to work and some hands that are meant to war. And you can have two things going on at the same time. I think the issue is that it seems as though, in my opinion, and I am very careful with the words I use. I'm gonna say it again. It seems as though, in my opinion, the Black community has always needed someone or something to rally around. So there was this thing about who is the voice and what is the message, which I think left maybe very little room for the two messages to become one. Sometimes you got to hit a joker across his head, and sometimes you got to sit at that diner in peace. But I don't think one had to cancel out the other. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So that's my sort of take on Martin's. I'm probably more of a Malcolm guy.
Yeah, I could see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, because my thing is burn the whole city down. They can afford it.
Right. Build it back
Let me
up.
say this. Target ain't stopped targeting since that Target in Atlanta got burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
These corporations can afford a burnt down door. Ain't nobody missed a beat. And when you want to hit, let me tell you this, if you want to hit America where it hurts, you always hit America in her pockets. Mm-hmm. That was the whole idea of the boycott, and I don't know the official name for the movement, with bus riding.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because if the blacks don't pay that fare, then that hits the bottom line.
Yeah.
So my thoughts is, and let me say this, and this is the thing that gets me about white standard. People act like this entire country was not based on rioting. There's a spirit of rebellion that is in the DNA of America. Mm-hmm. That's how we separated from the British. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the most famed revolts, the Boston Tea Party, was about hitting the opposition in the pockets. So now what was good enough back then is not good enough now. Like if we're conservatives and we want to keep the old American way, that means burn it down. Mm-hmm. You know, in my most humble opinion.
Well, I would like to put this disclaimer out there. Chris and Carlette Live do not condone any type of violence, shutting down, burning down. If you do that, that is on your own. Don't lead that conversation back to us.
The views and opinions of our guests is not necessarily those.
I already know what was coming on. Y'all should have left me in my spiritual vein when I was talking about mental health.
Right. We should have put that.
But okay, so I think the reality is that a lot of times what's good enough, what I'm trying to say is this, what's good enough for white people is always shunned upon with black people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me tell you an experience with that. So we were part of a congregation that was not 50-50, it was more like 70-30, us being the 30. Mm-hmm. And we were in a meeting because we were in senior leadership. And somebody made the statement about music sounding black or soulful or something. So the head leadership, I ain't gonna say which one, it could be the husband, could be the wife,
probably
made a statement. I am so tired, as if black is the standard.
Ooh.
And I had to sit there because of that man over there. I had to sit there and keep my mouth closed. Yeah. But everything within me wanted to say, well, why is it that talking proper is supposed to be white?
Listen, the church
I'm so serious. And I did not say nothing because of him.
Yeah. The church has lost its spirit. The black church has been whitewashed because we allow that language. We ain't trying to be like them storefront churches. We ain't trying to be. We a proper church. So the songs that were sung, and the reality was the songs that were sung were talked about negatively. Mm-hmm. Some of the soul. Now I can say some of these lyrics can be really sad, but what I'm saying is, I have even seen black standard be X'd out even when it comes to church, where we used white church as the benchmark for success because everybody wanted to be mega on some level. So the way the songs that were sung, how we approach church, and all this kind of carrying on. And I think that a lot of black Pentecostal church has lost its heartbeat and rhythm because all of a sudden black church is frowned upon. I remember talking to a white consultant who told my pastor what he needs to do is have regular church on Sunday and then have Sunday night church where the people dance and speak in tongues because it's not user friendly to be used by God in that kind of way.
Oh, wow.
So it even down to the religious institutions. And well, let me just scratch that. That's why I feel like Martin's message was incomplete because we are still battling white standard. Like if you're going to play, then you got to play by our rules. Where what would have happened if all of that energy would have been put on not allowing white people to terrorize rich, affluent Black communities? Because what happened is, all right, so you say equality, equality, equality. So we're going to let all the Blacks move into our neighborhoods. Bet. Now we're going to leave. Now,
right. Then we're going to leave.
Money left. Where instead of trying to move Blacks into the neighborhoods, why couldn't we create protected neighborhoods that couldn't be burnt down? So then you got Blacks migrating to white neighborhoods, whites migrating to suburbia.
Yeah.
And now
themselves
Black people,
living amid a great period of social change.
In the cycle of poverty in inner cities.
And yet they fail
it's
to
the reason
develop
why I
the
can
new
go
attitude,
6 miles up the road to North Atlanta High School.
the new mental
Where's an 11-story
responses
all-glass office building with
that
6
the new
elevators for the kids
situation
and a private
demands.
elevator for the staff, where they have
end up
lacrosse and swimming.
sleeping
And I go 6 miles the
through
other
a
way,
revolution.
and you can barely find a computer.
There can be no gainsaying of the fact
because
that the
we
great
wanted
revolution is taking place
desegregation and not
in the world
equality.
today.
And so now
In a
you
sense,
say,
it
oh,
is
well,
a triple
this school is not properly
revolution.
funded because of tax dollars. Why? Because the money
That
left.
is a technological revolution with the impact of automation and cybernation.
Let me
Then
play
that
this
is a
clip right quick. Let me
revolution
play this clip.
in weaponry with the emergence of atomic and nuclear weapons of warfare.
Is it playing?
Then that is a human rights revolution with the freedom explosion that has taken place all over the world. Yes, we do live in a period where changes are taking place.
Why you're saying
That is still the voice crying through the vista of time, saying, behold, I make all things new. Former things are passed away. Now, whenever anything new comes into history, it brings with it new challenges and new opportunities. And I would like to deal with the challenges that we face today as a result of this triple revolution that has taken place in the world today. First, we are challenged to develop a world perspective. No individual can live alone. No nation can live alone. And anyone who feels that he can live alone is sleeping through a revolution. The world in which we live is geographically one. The challenge that we face today is to make it one in terms of brotherhood. Now, it's true that the geographical oneness of this age has come to be to a large extent through modern man's scientific ingenuity. Modern man, through his scientific genius, has been able to dwarf distance and place time in chains. And our jet planes have compressed into minutes distances that once took weeks and even months. All of this tells us that our world is a neighborhood. Through our scientific and technological genius, we have made of this world a neighborhood, and yet we have not had the ethical commitment to make of it a brotherhood. But somehow and in some way we've got to do this. We must all learn to live together as brothers, or we will all perish together as fools.
We will all perish together. Let me mute this mic. As fools, if we don't come together as brothers.
Unmute yourself, Terrell.
I mean, so,
Unmute yourself, Terrell.
You can't hear me?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So,
All right.
yeah, so I played that clip because I found it very interesting, and that's to piggyback off of something that you just said, is America has all this technology where we can go from point A to point Z in minutes, hours, but yet we can't seem to come together as brothers for the common cause. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and can I respond to that?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, y'all are elder and wise people. Let's say a young couple comes to you all and they are wanting to be married, right? But the man doesn't have his finances together, don't have his education together, and he's still very immature where he's not ready to lead the home. And the woman is broken and very emotional because of her past relationships. Would you tell them to go ahead and get married?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. I would want to know what's the plan.
Okay, so fair enough. Why in the world, and I'm using world on purpose, would you take two broken halves and try to make them one when they're not ready yet?
Yeah.
White folks was not ready and black folks wasn't either for two different reasons. You cannot have a brotherhood and we ain't brothers. It's the equivalent of two sisters trying to force the two cousins to be friends and we don't know each other. We weren't raised together. How is it that goes against the universal principles of unity? That you must be one whole before you can become one in unity. And so you got one broken piece and two broken pieces, and we're in some kind of fairy tale world like we were supposed to get along in the first place.
Well, let me pose this question to you. Well, based on that comment, do you think the I Have a Dream speech was in vain?
It was a dream. It was a dream.
Wow.
It was a simple dream. Now, what happened, what I feel like is, who passed the baton?
True.
Who picked up the dream and said, we're going to make this a reality? And then who passed the baton from that generation to the next? Who came up behind Martin? Now, I know that there was those kind of freedom fighters and the John Lewises and stuff that, let me just say it like this. I live in Atlanta. I used to work for a nonprofit organization media company, and a lot of those guys that marched and was connected with Martin, at least back in the day, was still alive. And the only stories they truly have was the stories of Martin.
Wow.
Who passed the baton?
So you're saying not of their own. Well,
From who?
They just picked it up.
But then where did they put it at? Because they're gone. Their time is up. That's what I'm saying. Like there was a dream, and that's why I feel like segregation was premature. And the wars that we've been fighting internally within America is the fallout from this premature coming together before healing.
So do you?
Wasn't even, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You used the wrong word. You said segregation was premature. You meant integration.
Desegregation was premature. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Desegregation was premature.
Do you think that? And one of our questions that we wrote down, submitted to you. Do you think that after the MLK movement and his passing, everything just kind of, and then I think after that, Malcolm got assassinated. And then after his assassination, everything, the whole movement, I believe, you all can correct, I'm not a historian, but the whole movement just seemed to fade away until the orange man appeared on the scene.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
So
Because, well, let me finish. Because
sorry.
nothing really happened after that in the 70s, you know, and I mean, you had little pockets of people, you know, coming up with their movements and stuff. But I think that it became just a frosting over a cake. But the real issue was the cake. And when you peel back the layers of the frosting, Donald Trump exposed the true feeling of the American people.
You know what? It's interesting. I think Donald Trump had a predecessor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, predecessor.
Premonition.
Barack Obama.
Okay.
What happened with Barack Obama? And Democrats won a supermajority, and was it 2006, right? 2008, a supermajority. The Republican.
Oh no, yeah, 6. Yeah.
Was it 6?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, 6, 12, then 12 plus 4, 16. Because Trump came in 16. Right. So 2006, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2002. Hold on, 2008. No,
it was 8.
Obama was elected in
19,
8.
11, 12.
Yeah, because he was for 8 years, so 8 plus 8 is 16. Yeah, so 2008. The Republicans got together under the leadership of Mike Pence and made up their mind they had one job. See, people blame Donald Trump for this huge divide in politics, but it wasn't Donald Trump. At the day of the inauguration, when the Democrats were getting ready and getting dressed to go to balls, the Republicans came together and they created a party of no. And their one job was to block Barack Obama from being successful. That's number one. Then number two, they said that Barack Obama was the most divisive president ever. He made one mistake, and I believe it was Tamir Rice. I forget which one of the young black boys, when that black man said that, he said something, don't quote me, something to the effect of, that could have been me. And white folks went nuts. And that, in my opinion, birthed a Donald Trump coming on the scene. Because white folks at the time did not have to deal with the black problem. When you think about all of those not mass shooting, like the Mike Browns and the Tamir Rices and the shooting that happened in Charleston, in the church members of Charleston 8 or Charleston 9.
Yeah.
All of that was up under Barack Obama.
Yeah.
It was like, as soon as that black man took charge, it was like all of a sudden this faux rest that we had was like, oh, no, dog. We were never ready, and y'all thought we were ready, and everybody thought we were good, and we ain't good. So I think that if there was no Barack Obama, there would not have been no Donald Trump. Donald Trump was a rebuke to America for embracing, in my opinion, Barack Obama. But that's just my take on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say this for all those that's listening, and if you thought that we were going to have an answer to this question, we're not.
Oh, Lord, no. I'm just stating opinion.
Well, you know, my wife didn't give me a bowl of popcorn.
I was just bringing it because y'all, it was juicy for popcorn.
So
I'm over here hungry.
Your stomach probably growling.
I got chicken and noodles cooking as we speak.
I really wish y'all didn't live where the cows go to pasture.
Come to the cows.
You know how many times I would come over to get something to eat if y'all lived probably 20 minutes closer. I promise to God.
I'd be like, your food is in the bag, Terrell.
Well, we always have a guest bedroom, so you know.
We keep telling you that.
Y'all would be sick of me.
So my next question, will we ever see the dream come true?
Wait. Parts of it has. It has. Come on. You know what y'all two black men not about to do?
Excuse
It's
me,
due.
not two black men, 1/3 black men.
One half, one and a half.
Yeah, excuse me, 1.5 black men. Get it right.
That
You know,
information is
so
not public
Carlette, you're too
knowledge.
smart to mess up math like that.
That information is not. Let's see. I agree wholeheartedly. Renelle, can you put in the chat again? What do you agree with, so that we can put that up and put that in context?
I think that we are getting there because what I've been noticing, this trend, and it seems a little vitriol and violent, but there is this pride of blackness that is everywhere and it's unapologetic. And you got like the Issa Rays. You say, well, who are you voting for? Who are you rooting for? For everybody black.
She sure did.
And
She sure did.
what's happening is black people, in my opinion, are starting to heal and self-regulate. I think we are clear. I believe we had hope for Barack Obama. Donald Trump snapped us back into reality.
He said, get back into your place. Know your place. Know your place.
Right. He snapped us into reality. And I'm seeing fathers, because let me say this. Statistically speaking, right now in this space, black men are more prone than any other race of men in America to spend time with their children.
Uh-oh. I hit the cough button. Hit the cough button. Okay.
Look at the devil. Just want to interrupt our message. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, black men, statistically speaking, are more apt to spend time with their children than any other race of men in America.
I know.
But we ain't talking about that. That don't get nothing. But I think what's going on is black people are going. The black race is going inwardly, and we're supporting each other. I purposely buy from black. These sweatshirts I buy, I got probably 10 or 12 sweatshirts, and probably 10 of them are from black small businesses.
Wow.
The access to wealth. I'm seeing so many black people since COVID getting into stocks and bonds and real estate flipping and insurance and taxes. I'm telling you, I think what's happening is what we needed was a full sense of hope, Barack Obama, and then a strong streak of reality, Donald Trump. And I think slowly but surely, the black race as a whole is self-regulating. And then we'll be ready to come whole with white folk. But we ain't coming on your terms. It's like a marriage. You got to give some and receive some.
Now listen to this.
Well, I think that it will still be hard for us because of who we have in office. If we keep having the Marjorie, what's her name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, Taylor Greene and all these people that are pro-Trumpers and all this other stuff. I think
she's starting to turn on him.
No, because she held up her phone and she had DT on it like after McCarthy.
No. After he won?
Yeah, she held up his phone. I got Donald Trump on the phone. But I think it's still going to be difficult. The fight is still on. And I think it's still going to be difficult for us to move forward, to press forward. That we just need to fight a little bit harder.
Yeah, I think also what's happening is absent of politics. What Generation Z, in my opinion, this is why, and this might be controversial, y'all. And here, if I go left, here's where it might go. This is why the church needs to be careful, be sort of careful about fighting some of these movements that break constructs, especially as it relates to sexuality and gender and stuff like that, because these kids are coming out of the structural norm and they're going to do things and bring about a change that's going to fit more of what America should be. And I go that. So I'm not saying agree with it. I'm not saying being aligned with it, but I'm saying be careful not to fight it, because I think on the back of that is a change that's coming, that's needed from Generation Z. I also think that white people will statistically lose their majority power in America. It's just by the time Generation Z gets our age, America will not, it will be only in the history books and not on the streets. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Well, I will say the new American will look more like you, Chris, than it will look like me and anybody else. All joking aside this time. All joking aside. Per statistic, per reports, that whites will not be a supermajority. And there'll be more mixed looking kids out, mixed looking people.
So is that why they're fighting harder? Because to keep us out rather than
absolutely.
Yeah.
What's going on now, in my opinion, is why white people have gone bat food crazy, like Marjorie Taylor Greene's, is because for the first time in their lives, they have to consider somebody outside of themselves. Just by virtue of them being white, they didn't have to think twice. When white students or white sports teams get happy and jump on cars and stuff like that, they're rowdy lovers of sports. When black people do it, they're hoodlums and thugs. Because they don't have to consider, they didn't have to at the time consider nobody outside of themselves. And that's why, again, I'm saying you don't have to be in alignment with the message, but be careful, because within this movement, it's also the liberation of women. Because for so long, men didn't have to consider anybody outside of themselves. Women were property, not partners. So it's not just racial constructs that are being challenged in today's times. It's every construct is up under the test of time. Is this construct still relative? Churches, schools. Now, when I go to the schools, there's not teaching going on. Everybody has a tablet. And all of their lessons and everything is within that Google Classroom. The schools, or everything is up under the test of time. If you want, remember I said before, freedom is going to cost. And it is a marriage that has to happen. So all 7 mountains of influences have to be willing to give up something if the dream is truly going to come to pass.
Have you seen, when you say that, it reminds me of the new Will Smith movie, Redemption. Have you seen that?
I need to look at it. I need to see
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty good. You need to come over here and watch it so you can get the surround sound.
I don't know. Maybe you need to fast first before you watch it, because I think it'll take you to another level of anger.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm finally sort of getting over my PTSD from 2020.
Okay.
I had a white therapist. I got a white therapist now.
Wait a minute. Oh, how come you don't have somebody black?
So let me talk about it.
Okay.
So I have this client, and she was always my therapist. So I said, listen, I need a therapist, connect her. So she gave me her number. I'm texting the lady. We texted back and forth. And I live in Atlanta. Everybody black in Atlanta. And the client was black. So I wasn't thinking what color you are or nothing. So we texted back and forth. And then we get on the phone. I said, oh, you're white. Oh, gosh. So then when we had our first video visit, I said, ma'am, now y'all know how I am. I said, ma'am, I don't like white people.
Wow.
And you know what she did? Wise woman. She says, I don't either. We're crazy.
Wow.
I like
that.
That
sold it up
good.
for you.
That was good.
And I told her, I said, it's not evil. It's not racist. I said, that what happened with George Floyd, and I would go up under comments, and it even happened was the show I covered with, I believe his name is Karan Reed or something like that, or Blake. I've done so many stories. A 13-year-old boy who was shot in D.C. because the owner of a car thought he was vandalizing cars. And I posed the question. It was a simple question. Did this boy deserve to die? And let me tell you, when I tell you them white men emphatically was like, yes. And I'm like, hold on. He deserved to die for vandalizing a car? Now, by law, It is illegal to shoot somebody for vandalizing your property. That person will have to turn on you, rush you, or try to grab your gun. You are only allowed to defend yourself, not your property.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, it's not about law and order, because when it's them, it's okay. You know, what's that saying? When it's okay when you do it, but when I do it, and that kind of lack of empathy for warm blood that lives in the hearts of white people scares me. And when I saw people, even up to this day, defending, I don't care if this man had meth in his system, no one deserves to die with a knee on their neck. No soul, not my worst enemy, not Hitler, don't even deserve to die with dying, scratching for your last breath is a horrible way to die. And for the life of me, I do not understand how anybody could form in their mind that it was okay because of anything. That is a level of callous of heart. And those people watch TBN. And those people love your favorite preacher. Let me tell you this. Uh-oh, hold on. Let me tell you this.
Oh, Lord.
The problem that a lot of people had with Martin Luther King was his Christian message, because it was that same Christian message that got Black folk where they were in America. And we are too busy cheesing up against people that we need to be drawing lines of demarcation. You are a racist bigot. You love the Lord, but you hate me.
I can't remember what it was. I think it was Paula White when she, was backing Trump, and people start drawing the line and start seeing the tides change, and start looking at the most popular people that you follow, whether it's in the prophetic, whether it's in praise and worship, and you look at their roster. None of us was speaking. About the most we would do was be praise and worship leader.
We, the Black church, sold their soul for people we didn't know would sell us if we can go back in times.
Wow.
And Donald Trump was the gift that gave us that revelation. I was shocked. Some of the people that I enjoy, like Jesse Duplantis and what's that man's name? That whole prosperity gospel crew, I enjoyed their messages. I mean, it wasn't negative. And then I realized, you don't like me. I had no problem, even when I evolved from my space in the Christian church, I had no issue with TBN at all. I was shocked when I realized that. And then, and not just because it doesn't mean that if you support a person or you're Republican or conservative, you're against Black people. I don't believe that. But it was this callous, non-empathetic approach, as if Black people was not supporting Donald Trump, we were wrong, blind, out of touch, missed God. You were so focused on getting your person in the seat that you lost your empathy. Watch the man that claims Jesus but does not have empathy. That's why he got on those that walked past the man that was, what was the parable when the man on the side of the road and 3 people walked past and he says, well, you can't even get in the kingdom of heaven if you deny me. They say, well, Lord, when did I deny you? When those that were less fortunate was on the side of the road, you were so busy going to the temple, you passed by them. And that is what a lot of these evangelical Christian preachers, white people, portrayed. And Donald Trump is the gift that keeps on giving, because now you can sort of pick and choose who is who and where is where. And shame on the Black person. Shame on you. I don't care how saved you think you, apostle, prophet, whatever. Shame on you if you will ignore everything and want to buddy with them people just because you have the same message, knowing the motive is wrong. When the whole idea of Christianity is heart, not mouth.
Okay.
You're a hypocrite just like they are. You support them, you ain't right. Your heart is dark.
Okay,
because
so
heart and not mouth.
okay, I gotta say this.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all should know.
It's all right. It's
So
all right.
going back to Dr. King, his last sermon.
Mm-hmm.
When I was listening
Which is
to
at
it,
Mason Temple. Yes, Lord.
hello, and he said, racism is still the black man's burden, and the white man's shame. And when he said that, it made me think of today, critical race theory. The whole argument of don't tell the truth. That's what it comes down to. Don't tell the truth. Stop telling the truth or repackage it. But don't tell the truth.
Yeah.
When you don't tell the truth, you're going back into bondage, if you ask me. When you don't tell the truth, you go back into bondage. You just do.
Absolutely. You cannot have freedom without truth. Watch a man that runs from truth. Beware of him. He is a snake. Truth is the foundation of all. How can you worship me if you're not worshiping with consciousness and truth, spirit and truth?
Yes.
Truth. Jesus Christ when you read Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John, the only thing he did was walk in truth. You don't have to fight institutions. Just talk your truth.
You don't hear that, Terrell?
No.
But
so watch any man that is not in love with the burden of truth, with the pain of truth.
His word is true.
Here's as we wrap this up. Here's my unless you want to keep
the carnal one in here, Carlette.
What'd he say?
The carnal one.
We over here quickening and you trying to move the service along.
See, this is where the Lord is right now.
No.
He just hit a vein. We just hit a vein.
Let him have his way. Okay, I'm sorry, Chris. My bad.
But here, look. So we have some announcements we need to make, but this is my commitment to Black America. As we do what we have to do, my commitment via Church of God in Christ, whatever, is to make sure that our people have a voice, that our people are ministered to, and it's just not for show, that we touch the lives of any particular city that we go to and make sure that they first have value in themselves, self-worth, that they are ministered the gospel, and that they feel good about themselves.
Absolutely.
That's my commitment this day, January 16, 2023, as Carlette and I do what we have to do in ministry. That's my commitment. I mean, I and you're very right, Terrell, that whatever denomination is, whatever denomination, it should be where we are in the community supporting our own.
And I'm going to teach you how to cut up a chicken.
So James Timberlake Lang said, Trumpism set us back socially, but Obamaism set us back spiritually. Martin realized before his death that the desegregation was a mistake. We were better together.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because so let's talk about that, because by
Thank you,
segregating,
Reverend Lane.
Oh, I'm sorry. So by segregating, and there is this divide in the church itself, because you have to choose between a part. Now, in my opinion, it's still for Peter to pay Paul, but let's just talk facts. Black people are better off in a democratic ran country. But then this is why I was saying about be wary of fighting too much, because it's that conundrum of voting left, which means that it's going to push the agenda of gay marriage. It's going to push the agenda of abortion. And many Christians as a whole don't agree with those constructs being challenged. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so it's going to take a type of wisdom. The Bible says that you have to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove.
Mhm.
And it's going to take a serpent's wisdom to be able to slither in and not hurt one thing so that the greater healing can happen. But at the same time, you got to be harmless as a dove as well.
Mhm.
And so I get some of the Christians, because Obama was he moved the country left. So while it was great to have a person of color lead the country and challenge one construct, we also allowed other constructs to break down that most Christians would uphold, while letting another construct be broken down that needed to be broken down, if that makes sense. So that is the wisdom of the Christian. But that's just not in politics. That should be in all things. How do you take your Christian principles and infiltrate the world without harming the world at the same time? And in a lot of cases, I have not seen a lot of good examples of that. A lot of people have made enemies of the world, then evangelize the world.
Mhm.
And I know the scripture says, that the world's an enemy and all that. Well, keep on making an enemy of the world and you stay in your same place, impotent. You cannot win what you don't love.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be a challenge, and that lies on the burden of the Black church. And I feel for you, and I get it, because you have to choose this kind of Republican-led work country, or a party that is anti your color, or a Democratic-led party that is anti your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck. God bless y'all.
I think there is no, I like how Dr. Mary put it, there is no perfect party. And we have to stop seeing these political figures as our moral compass.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That helped me a lot. That helped me a lot when Pastor said it.
Because if I'm going to be honest, let me tell you something about America. If America really didn't want abortion, they wouldn't have abortion.
Yeah.
Like this immigration thing, let's talk about immigration. Immigration is healthy for the economy of America. Statistically, the economy would crash if all immigrants went back to their country. But politically, you got to make a farce about it. And so that's why you have to sort of desegregate yourself from the morality of politics and have your personal belief. It's the same reason why you can be at a non-denominational church and one person believe in baptizing in Jesus' name and another person believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and you can still worship together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You ain't killing each other up. Now, there's some staunch ones that believe you're going to hell if you don't do one or the other, but that's not talking about that. So there's a lane where you can coexist and not and be opposite of one's morality. Mm-hmm. But again, I think that's the burden of most church people that are convicted by those things. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, we could talk all night. We are at almost an hour. It's 9:21.
I was supposed to text y'all and say I can only be on here for 30 minutes, and I am been here for my butt hurt.
You're yapping.
And then I bet you did you hit any of your notes?
No, I skimmed. I think the one I really hit was about the I have a dream, the last part of his speech, the end of his speech. I don't even know why I put notes on this notepad.
So, but what were some of your notes?
No, because the thing is, because you got to talk. For example, a lot of people didn't agree with Martin Luther King's message because they felt like he was gearing towards the middle class. Poor people wasn't studying about no desegregation. They were poor. It was those of the Morehouse crew.
Mm.
It was look at the audience of the people, that video that you played. Who who was really, really impoverished in DC? Who's traveling across the country to hear a man speak?
Wow.
So there was a lot of different and then we was going to talk about the Christian message and more in depth, and how what set Martin apart and why a lot of people didn't agree with him is because of that Christian message. And then I was going to talk about inner cities and how poverty is directly connected to crime. So you had white flight, then you had poverty, and now you have crime. And now the white people turn back around and be like, well, look at the inner cities.
Well, they're going back into the inner cities, and there's gentrification happening.
That burns my bowl.
Gentrification is happening. Because now Big Mama got to sell her house. And then once she sell the house, where's she going to go? Because she still can't afford. She can only afford what she had.
Absolutely.
So where's she going to go? Because, projects, that don't really exist no more. I mean, it depends on the city, and then it's probably a waiting list for it.
And ask the black people that were displaced when the Olympics came to Atlanta, because there's another conversation that truly needs to be had when you got race in America and then you got economic disparities. And God forbid if you hit both marks, black and poor. See, I live in 16th Street in Midtown. There is a privilege that I have of resources, a privilege that the Edwards family have. While some have white privilege, we have economic privilege. And that is, we don't live the same life as the black person 6 miles down the road from me. We have no clue. That's why I cannot stand when black people fix their mouth to talk about other black people. You have an education from Howard and you are in a C-suite position. Your mother was educated and your mother's mother was educated. You wouldn't know poor if poor smacked you in the face.
Right.
So you can't, okay. I'm sorry.
But Terrell, I get what you're saying. But at some point we got to come up. We got to educate ourselves. And you cannot.
We can't use that as an excuse anymore.
Exactly. And it's too many. Hold on, let me finish my statement. It's too many resources out here for you to advance yourself. I'm sorry. I am into welfare to work. Yep. And once you work, get off the welfare. Yep, that's me. There's too many resources out here, Terrell. It's so many free. You know what? I get a booklet. I used to get a booklet every month from the local community college up in Marietta. I think it was Chattahoochee Tech. Of free classes every month.
Absolutely.
And if you wanted the certification, you just paid a little extra for the certification. It wasn't even for the class. You don't have to get a degree to make it no more. You don't.
I was going to go mid, but I'm just going to go all the way past mid and get down to what I feel like the root is.
Okay.
Hopelessness.
I agree.
You cannot, that's why I'm saying you have to heal before you jail. Because back in the day, I used to Uber to make a living. And I never forget, I picked up this family in the deep parts of the poverty of Atlanta. And I was looking at those kids and I said, they don't even have a fighting chance. They were birthed in deep despair and in poverty. For a people that believe in generational curses, I find it hard to believe that is not a thought when we think about poverty. That within our DNA has been etched PTSD. And our DNA has been etched trauma. And every time we birthed another generation of trauma, lest somebody in the family line can have hope.
Yeah.
Some people joined the military because they were looking for my father, how my grandfather did it. He sold moonshine until he was able to buy a home. And he was the first Black homeowner in a community, and that home is still in the Hill family line.
Wow.
That passed to my dad, where he joined the military. And then that baton passed to my brother. He went further. He is a whole CPA at one of the top 4 accounting firms in DC. That passed to me, who is an entrepreneur who has seen more money last year than I've ever seen in my life.
You gotta make some phone calls. No.
But it started with my grandfather.
Uh-huh.
With Oprah, it started with her grandparents, bypassed the parents, and I believe her grandmother or grandfather brought her in. No one starts from scratch. Your success must be passed along, Elijah and Elisha. Those spiritual principles are not just stuck in the church. Well, I was under the man of God. He didn't release me right, so that's why my ministry didn't work. But then it don't work in school and the other 7 mountains of influences. And for every Elisha, there is an Elijah. Who is the person responsible for your success?
Or
people, children,
or people, or village.
Our village, correct.
Yeah.
And so that's why there must be a concentrated amount of healing that happens within us and just for us without white people. And then we go outward and connect with the white brother. Because I often think about, let's say the Tulsa. When those white folks burnt that Tulsa community down, the richest Black community in America. And when they burnt down the communities around the ACU, the CAU, Morehouse College, and when if I remember the story right, a whole bunch of white mobs went and attacked those college students. Some, it ignited them, and some, they lost their hope.
Wow.
And those that lost their hope had children, and they told those children, you better be careful because that white man gonna take your stuff. My mother was slapped in the face and because she wanted to go to college. My grandmother told my mother, "You thinking too high-minded." So what my mother did,
I know that statement.
that's a spirit.
I know that statement.
And so sometimes we wonder why we do good in one area, but we got this area where we can't grasp a certain kind of confidence. Have we ever thought we're fighting against the curse called American Black?
Wow.
Man.
It's a spirit. Why are we over there interceding and fighting the devil and demons, and I bind in the name of the Lord Jesus, and then missed our race? What I used to say, so spiritually minded, you ain't no earthly good. You prayed about everything and left your race out. Okay, I'm done.
But I totally agree. We must reach back to our people. We have to have our people. But we cannot neglect other races.
No. You do not neglect. You do not neglect.
You don't shut the door.
You prioritize.
But
Think about it.
If yours ain't, listen, if your folks ain't showing up, you got to help those that is showing up. But you got to find a reason why they're not showing up.
If you have 3 children, I'll just say it like this. Jesus left one. Jesus left all the sheep for one.
Yeah, he did.
He did not say they didn't show up. He went to the sheep.
Yeah, that's what I said. If they don't show up, go find out why. Go. No,
you don't see. That's why
go
Black
and
people
find
don't.
out.
That's why Black people don't. That's why Black people. It's a prime example. Like, that's why I don't go to Black restaurants, because they food always more expensive than the other restaurants. Well, think about it, dummy. It's basic business sense. If Chili's has a
franchise,
a franchise, and within the franchise, they have contracts with, it's a word I'm missing, where they can get their potatoes for probably 1 cent per potato.
Yeah.
That small business is probably paying 50 cents per potato.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
That white man that started his small restaurant and that Black person that started their restaurant could be very different. One was given $60,000 as a seed to start his business, and one had to take out a loan. One didn't have overhead and one did. And yet I think we need deliverance from white people because we compare as if we're equal and we're not. There is not equality in America yet. We do not have equal chance. We have to work harder than the white person. So of course they're able to get in there and just do it. Look at Dana White and Will Smith. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock and people are still upset. Dana White slapped his wife and nobody is saying nothing.
Wow. Who is Dana White?
UFC president.
Oh, yeah. I think that was
financing ESPN. ESPN's making $300 million a year off of UFC. So the ESPN big heads told the news analysts, don't say nothing. Dana White ain't canceled. Will Smith had to be missing for months before he came back with an official statement. Dana White had a news a presser last week. He said, what? Well, my punishment is my reputation. I mean, what? You want me to just not show up to work?
Wow.
Literally. And I quote, why? A black man and a white man. And white folks stormed the Capitol and we still upset because black people go to Walmart in their pajamas. Look, black people just embarrassing us. I had a friend group because I'm pro-black, clearly. And I wouldn't let people talk about my friend group talk about black people. And so they had found some TikTok video of this woman just terrorizing CVS and turning over stuff. And so I just sent them a video of the insurrection. Compare and contrast, friend. We're not calling them hoodlum.
That's true. That's true.
There's just as much white on white murder as black on black murder. And when you think about the insufficient, now there's 13% of black people in America, and they create 50% of murders. So that's still high, but then you have to account statistically of what poverty does to you. If you take poverty out, I guarantee you it's not pound for pound. White people kill each other more than black people.
You just don't hear about it.
Okay, you know what, y'all, please. It's 9:34. I gotta go.
Well, y'all, if y'all want to catch more of that argument or any argument that V. Terrell Hill puts up, make sure you catch him on his own show, the V. Terrell Hill Show. He comes on every day at 5:00 p.m.
No. I stopped by 5:00. You didn't hear what I said earlier? I come live every day. Because sometimes it'd be 8, sometimes it'd be hit the bell to be notified when I go live.
It's the fact he shows up daily.
Right,
daily.
Well, yeah, he comes on daily. You never know the time, but if you hit that bell, then on YouTube, because somebody got you working hard. That's why it is. I ain't gonna say that, but yes.
Not Chris.
Petty tea, petty cake. Tea, green tea. Just saying.
I'm good.
Petty cake. As we move on.
Woo!
So listen.
I'm only doing this because I've had therapy today, so I'm a little bit more toned down. Or I would follow you up on that just for fun, just to see Carlette squirm out of her chair.
One of your clients. No, I'm just kidding.
But you know what though?
Yes, sir.
You know what? I'm about to start talking like we on our normal FaceTime. Let me go. Let me stop because I'm about to get that. I've been slipped up for real. No, but I'm at the age and I'm at the space in my life where I ain't taking no more L's. And so right now it's all about W's. So if I got to put a little extra elbow grease for a W, I'm gonna do a W. That's where my heart is. That's my motive. Literally, that is my motive. It ain't even paycheck. I want a W. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, man, we're gonna let you go, and we're gonna hit you back later on, because we could be on this for another hour or so.
Because we have good conversation, but I know when this is gonna reconvene for us, huh?
Oh, listen, y'all dissed me last week.
But we got you.
But I'm coming. I don't think I'm going to do. I'm about to start talking regular. We'll talk.
Yeah, don't talk regular on here.
No. just saying because we're gonna start having one-on-one conversation if we don't. But I don't think I'm gonna do my show over there though, because I just feel like I'm gonna be out of my element.
What? You could sit right here.
All I know is that it will not. I don't care if you have to skip a day. That will not be your reason for a L as far as coming to my
Yeah,
house.
because that
Or cutting your visit short.
because my studio.
Okay, so check it. Let's just have the conversation real quick. Check it. I'll get there about 1:00, right? I can stay till 3 hours, leave at 4.
Dude.
In whose house?
Y'all will talk.
No, wait. No, this is what I got to say. You're going to eat. You're going to lay on that couch. You're going to put that blanket over you and start snoring.
You know what? Let me say this. And it's so funny that y'all asked me to be on the show today for many, many reasons. But a mentor told me, he said, you always discern. Remember I was talking about discerning people around you earlier? Mm-hmm. You always discern who is in your life at very intricate moments, at pivotal moments in your life. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I can say about Chris and Carlette Edwards. Y'all are all through the misunderstandings and the breaks we've taken, every pivotal moment in my life since I've met y'all have, without even trying, showed up. Mm-hmm. Even as it relates to today. And I can't make that up because y'all don't ever be knowing. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't know. Like when y'all showed up to my comedy show, that was not y'all's crowd and was not y'all's date night. Y'all came all the way from Douglasville to be there, and that meant a lot. Mm-hmm. And so that is special. Y'all, I'll say it public, I'll say it behind y'all back, and I'll say it on this show. Y'all are special people.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Hold on one second.
What?
Keep on talking, Carlette.
Okay.
What you up to? Because I can't even see the screen.
He up to something. But listen, you know why that is? Because we genuinely love you. And you're easy to love.
Thank you. You sure about that?
Yeah. No, even with your quirks and all that, it's like, that's Terrell. It's Terrell. You're actually easy to love. I've seen you in your hot moments, rare moments, and I just be like, because like I told you from the beginning, always protect what? The friendship.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I think friendship is when you get it, friendship is a spiritual exchange. Friendship is a placeholder while you transition from one space to the next. Friendship is a comfort space for you in the midst of the . It's divine. Yeah.
I'm trying to find something.
Chris, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you up to something.
And I haven't eaten. I have not eaten today since I sent y'all that video of my sausage McGriddles I made.
You did. That was
I haven't
good.
eaten since then. And my spirit is drained.
That was around my birthday, right?
Yeah, it was the day before, and we stayed out. Because mind you, that was a school night. That was a school night.
Yeah. And I was going to Cancun the next day.
Yeah.
And so I paid for Chris's meal for his birthday, sort of in lieu of y'all coming to support me.
That was and it was at Taco Mac.
Taco Mac. And it was my brother and my sister, my very dear brother Mo, and y'all.
Yep.
You know, I had invited people. I had invited a friend who lived in the very building.
Was that last year?
That was last March.
22.
Yeah, that was almost a year ago. Yeah.
You turned 50 at Taco Mac.
Oh, that is right.
Yeah. I had a friend that lived in the same building as the comedy club and didn't even come downstairs.
Wow.
Yep. What is going on? Y'all are in y'all phones. My butt hurts in this chair.
I don't know what he doing. Listen, we appreciate you.
No, wait, hold on.
No, you can't do that. This is dead air. You can't do that.
Wait. What you know about dead air? Hold on.
Right, listen, she done got professional.
Right. I can't find what I want to. Our show was about to wait, here you go. Where is that?
This looks good though. Y'all got me on here being so common now.
Let me say this.
This looks real good.
So we have the show next week. Do you have a topic for next week? Okay, our topic next week is our self-care part 2.
Woo! Oh, y'all was being real nasty.
Part 2. Part 2. But we did natural first. Now we're going spiritual. And you will see with our advertisement, you'll see who our special guest is. But it's self-care, prayer. Prayer is self-care. Natural was done. Now it's time for spiritual. Y'all, listen. And we already got our topic and our speaker for the last Monday of this month. Okay? Got to touch the finances. But this time, we're going to talk about our college students and them building credit. Ain't nothing like getting in debt in college.
That's absolutely great.
So we got a specialist for that. And we're hitting it up. We got to start our year focused and intentional, okay? Focused, orderly. If anybody that's following me on Facebook, I said this year we have to, I got to quote myself.
I got to start this Wi-Fi up so to see if it.
What?
Oh, because I'm trying to do something.
What are you doing?
Oh, there we go.
No, I said this. I said for this year, we're moving smarter, orderly, efficiently, and effectively in 2023. And that has to do with taking care of your business, handling yourself, your relationship, your spiritual relationship, all of that. All of that. You about to put that on?
Yeah, I was trying to find. Let's see. Let me go back here.
You know, this is long for no reason.
I know. At this point,
You know
yeah.
what? Hold on. I done got lost in my. I'm about to exit out.
I mean, what are you doing?
Wait, just hold on. Just wait one
Chris,
second.
we can't hold on by faith for too long.
I mean, what are you doing?
We need works, friend.
What are you trying to do?
Wait, oh shoot! I was trying to find something, but y'all just
We gotta go.
22.
Yeah, because I got to get something to eat. I thirst.
Yeah, and I gotta get to the chicken and noodles. I love y'all. Peace. Keep
Peace.
seeking the face of the Lord. Keep calling on Jesus. You know, if you believe, you know what I'm saying.
Wait, here we go.
But you
Just saying. And, you know, need to pray.
Chris, I hate to hang up in people's faces. So you got to work with me now.
You can't show that.
I'm about to.
Show what?
Chris.
I can't even see it. So I don't even know what it
He
is.
came out with, no, you cannot do that.
Oh, okay.
Wheeler told you.
All right.
You cannot do that.
All right.
What
Well, anyway,
happened?
y'all, nothing.
He's
Oh,
about to
text
make
me afterwards. Now I want to know.
No, I was gonna play a clip.
Watch it don't be nothing. Watch it don't be nothing. Carlette always.
No,
be so
it is.
ready.
It is something. It is something. He can't do that. Nope. Man,
Who is Willard?
we'll talk about that off camera. All right.
Now I'm
Love
getting
y'all.
messy.
Appreciate y'all. Seek the face of God. We'll see y'all next Monday at 8:00 Eastern, 5 Pacific, 7 Central. We love you all. Take care.
All right,
Thanks for having me,
peace.
y'all.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Terrell.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.